So the very first task we want to undertake in terms of implementing Cloud Olive, once the our support team is actually loaded in the first initial pass, log in, come over to reconciliation, and it will land you in the month that we're actually in right now. So you may need to move this back or forwards accordingly. And then we're going to see down here we've got a vendor that we're going to now go ahead and implement. So what we want to focus on initially is less so about the underbilling and overbilling. That's going to come next once we've mapped all of the unreconciled lines. So that's really the first action. We only need to map a line once. A lot of these have automatically mapped, most likely, but it's left us with a handful that we're going to just need to go through manually one by one. The way that we do this and recommended way to do this is there's 5 lines. All it's saying is that inside of your CRM, we've got a vendor cost. We've yet to be able to map it here for some reason. So easiest way to find that is just show lines without a CRM service association. It's going to leave us with the 5 line items here. And now there's 3 options. We either can map it, and we'll do that in a sec. We try to do it and we can't map it at all, or there might be a line item that you are choosing not to map ever or not to reconcile. So we'll go through these one by one. In order to get this down to 0, or as close to 0 as possible, we're going to take action over here by editing the line item. And when we edit it, there's 3 bits of information that we want to capture. So we want to capture the company name, and in doing so, I'll remove that just in case we don't actually have one. So if I type in big, I'm going to find an account that's inside of my CRM, Big Design. Now we're going to look for the contract name. We'll pick the one that ESET is associated with, and I can either now just start searching for it, or of course you can do the drop down, and you'll notice here that these are sorted from large count all the way down to smallest, like that. So if I do my type here of ESET, here it is here, my server security, and I can very quickly get some information that the unit counts won't match, but we'll address that in an underbilling and overbilling here after we've done the mappings. Now, when it comes to, say, future message, perhaps when we try and find the relevant contract and service here, let's say for argument's sake, we can't find it. So we look in here and it's like, oh, it should be in here, but we can't, there's nowhere to map it. What I would recommend doing is just leave your note for yourself. So create no service in the CRM. And optionally, you can pin it. Pinning a note just means that it's going to follow you every single month. So it's quite handy to pin it. We can always unpin it in future months if it's still there. So now we've worked on that. We can't do anything right now. And then perhaps for this service here, for whatever reason, we're never going to reconcile it at all. Over here, we have 2 options, which is also going to drive this number down. We can pass on it for 1 month. Hey, move out of my way for this cycle in April, but I do want to reference it and see it again in May. Or over here, if you're never going to reconcile it, you can permanently hide a line item. Now you notice that's gone down to 3. It's now hiding itself in behind here. And next month when we bring in the ESET data or this vendor's data, it's then just going to stay behind here. Had it been passed, only passed, it then resides behind here, but has the same impact there. So next month is essentially it's going to automatically untoggle that and come back into the main view. So as you work through the remaining line items and get that to 0, that's really the heavy lift in any vendor or anything we're going to go through. That's the time-consuming aspect of it. And once we're happy with that there, and by all means, if something's mapped to the wrong service, you can absolutely come in here. Oh, that shouldn't be mapped there. We need to just simply remap it to a new service or put it onto a new contract if it needs to be. So I can just exit out of that, find my ESET, there it is there. And that's now aligned down there. So per vendor, we go through that task, and once that is now complete, then we can begin understanding what the underbilling and overbilling is looking like, and or this really, really important toggle down here of show me everything that Cloud Olive is unhappy about. So out of all of our line items for this vendor, this is what Cloud Olive has left over for us.